Hey everyone, I know I'm a little bit behind on my top 10 series and I apologize for that, but this week we're going to talk about something really special to me because honestly, I didn't have very many romantic films really on my radar. But today we're going to talk about my top 10 romantic films of all time. And it was actually kind of hard to put this list together because there's some movies I just recently saw just that I want to add to this list. There's some movies that I haven't seen yet, like Amelie and About Time, just for instance, that I want to see but I have not seen yet. But here's honestly, my favorite top 10 films for romance. Yes! 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 When Harry Met Sally. Hopefully that intro just helped you out here. Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan do a really fantastic job in this movie. This is director Rob Reiner. Did a really fantastic job here. I actually just saw this a couple weeks ago for the first time. I've always seen that first scene that I just talked about, what I just did. But yeah, this movie is hilarious. It's romantic and funny. Billy Crystal keeps running into Meg Ryan, who's really not interested in him, and they kind of become best friends, and then things happen. And I don't really want to get into it too much, but yeah, this is definitely worth checking out. When Harry Met Sally is a good classic film that, honestly, you would probably all enjoy. So definitely check out When Harry Met Sally. Alright, my number 9 is Silver Linings Playbook with Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence. This movie is really fantastic. What happens is Bradley Cooper just lost his wife in a divorce, and he's been in a mental institution for a while, and he's honestly breaking down, and he goes back home to his parents, he's trying to get his life back together. He loves sports, especially, I want to say football. It's been a while since I've seen it. But especially football. Yeah, it's football, clearly. Silver Linings Playbook, Playbook. He meets Jennifer Lawrence, who also has had a really rough time with the death of her husband. And so this is a very dark, but also very comic film that where they kind of fall in love with each other, but also at the same time really don't know what to make of each other because they both have such deep problems. But I love this film. The first time I saw it, 2 years probably after it came out, but definitely check out Silver Linings Playbook because it's hilarious, funny, sad, and altogether romantic. Alright, my number 8 is Perks of Being a Wallflower, starring Emma Stone, Logan Letterman, and Ezra Miller. And so I actually really enjoyed this film. This is based on a book that came out, I don't know how long ago, but this came out in 2012. This movie is about really a coming-of-age story. It really reminds me of a lot of the 1980s kind of coming-of-age stories, but this is more of a modern take on it. It's filled with sex, filled with drugs, rock and roll, insecurities. There's really deep issues that really happen in this movie with all the characters. They have really dark secrets, but also at the same time they're just trying to help each other out, and they're trying to really, honestly, just grow up and become an adult. And this movie is hilarious, sad, and has all of the elements of being a very good romantic film. And I definitely recommend checking this out because Perks of Being a Wallflower is amazing. Alright, my number 7 is High Fidelity. I actually personally relate to this story because I actually work at a record store, and yeah, just like in this film, John Cusack is very sassy. All he cares about is movies, books, which is at the top of my bookshelf, and then I have records behind the camera. But yes, all I care about are those kind of things to really make up for what I don't have, and that's a romantic relationship. And what this is about it's about John Cusack with 5 of his past relationships, one in the current times that he's kind of going through at the moment in this movie. Honestly, a lot of his music and a lot of his life is divided up into these segments of his past relationships, and he's just trying to come to grips with himself. I don't really want to get too much in the story because it's definitely worth checking out on your own, and is definitely a very off-kilter kind of romantic film. It's not even really... It's hard to call it a romantic film, but also at the same time, romance is like the general premise of the story, so that's why I consider it a romantic film. I definitely check out High Fidelity. It's great music, great cast, and also a great story here. So definitely check out High Fidelity. My number 6 is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. It also has Mark Ruffalo and Kirsten Dunst and even Elijah Wood in this movie. It's really about these two and how they have this relationship, where Clementine, the girl, really wants to erase her memory of Joel, Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey wants to kind of get the same procedure, but it's a really oddly described movie, and also I really enjoyed how it was shot and how it was put together because the cinematography really tricks you, but also at the same time really invites you in to the mind of Jim Carrey and also the mind of Clementine, and how they want to really build on this relationship, but also at the same time want to let go of it because something happened, but we don't even know what happened to the end of their relationship until you watch the film, like it unfolds before you. But definitely a movie worth checking out. I don't really want to get too much into detail because it's definitely an experience to watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. But definitely go check this movie out because this is one of Jim Carrey's odd movies because he's really not his normal comedic self. Definitely check out this movie. Alright, my number 5 is 500 Days of Summer. What a hilarious but also very sad movie. This really, just like the narrator said, is not really a love story, but it really is about a romance that happens over a period of 500 days. And this film is really shot. I like the way it cuts back and forth between the different days because it just tells you the day. It really comes together. It starts off near the end, goes back to the beginning, and then shifts towards the middle of the thing, and then it hits to a certain point, and then it ends. I really enjoyed that aspect of the film, but also there's a narrator in this movie that is just comical to me. But he also brings up the movie Graduate, which is what happens to Joseph Gordon-Levitt in this film. That's his romantic notion of what romance should be like, and if you've seen The Graduate, I definitely recommend checking it out. That's his notion of romance, which is not the best notion of romance. But definitely check out 500 Days of Summer. It'll make you laugh a lot. It might make you cry a little bit, but it's definitely a timely romantic film. Alright, my number 4 is Crazy Stupid Love, and just like the name suggests, there's a lot of crazy things that happen in this film. It's hilarious, it's romantic though, and there's love triangles, squares, rhombuses. I don't really know what shape I would talk about it, but it's honestly about a man and a woman who are having a failed divorced marriage because she slept with Kevin Bacon. And Steve Carell needs to get his game back. He meets Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling tries to help him out, but also, secretly, unbeknownst to them, he's trying to hit on other women, and he runs into their daughter, and they fall in love a little bit later on in the movie, but also they have 2 kids who are really young, and what happens is their babysitter's actually in love with the dad. There's so many things going on in this movie, but it's hilarious. The dialogue in this movie, this is one of the first romantic films that I saw that I really, really wanted to see based on everyone else's recommendations. Definitely check out Crazy Stupid Love because this is a crazy, stupid love story. So definitely check it out. Alright, number 3. How can I not forget the classic, iconic John Hughes film, 16 Candles with Molly Ringwald. Definitely check this movie out because it is one of the best 80s films of all time. It's a cult classic. It's really about this 16-year-old girl who has her birthday, but no one really recognizes it. She's a sophomore in high school, and her family forgets her birthday. So she has this normal day. She has this crush on this senior. So what happens is Molly Ringwald is really just a coming-of-age story for her, just trying to figure out her whole entire day. And a lot of crazy events happen in this movie. There's a lot of hilarious dialogue with Anthony Michael Hall, a freshman who's after Molly Ringwald, and also Lung Duck Dong, which is a Chinese foreign exchange student who just has the best one-liners in the entire movie and has some crazy antics in the movie as well. But this movie is hilarious, full of 80s cheese, but also at the same time just a perfect romantic film for anyone to see who really even isn't interested in romance. It's a great film. So definitely check out 16 Candles because this movie is amazing. Alright, my number 2 is a downer, Blue Valentine with Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams. Now this movie is a love story, but also at the same time has a very, very tragic ending to it, and also how things unfold in this movie, things aren't the best. Is oddly shot, but perfect for the film. Just a lot along the lines of like 500 Days of Summer. Doesn't really end out too well for the protagonists, but definitely a movie that'll make you cry, but also at the same time give you hope. Very little hope. But definitely check this movie out because if you haven't seen this movie, it can show you honestly just what love could end up like and what it could turn out. Because a lot of the times, love is romanticized so much that it's really not grounded in reality as much as we would like it, especially in a film. But Blue Valentine does this very, very well, and I definitely recommend checking this movie out because it definitely grounds love to a more personal level, and I bet almost everyone can relate to this story in some kind of way. If not, definitely still check this movie out. It'll make you cry. I definitely say that it'll make you cry because you will. So, but definitely check out Blue Valentine. Fantastic film. And Ryan Gosling does a great performance, as does Michelle Williams. Definitely check this movie out if you're up to the challenge. Alright, enough has been said about my number one pick, because I've actually done a review of this movie. And I really enjoyed this movie a lot. And what I'm talking about is The Princess Bride. And to me, this has a bunch of genres in it, but the overarching theme is romance, where Wesley loves Buttercup. And Wesley wants to get Buttercup, and Buttercup wants to get Wesley. She thinks that he has died. If you really want to see me get an in-depth review of Princess Bride, check out that review. I'll leave it in the link down below. But yeah, definitely check this movie out, because it's full of so many tropes, so many classic one-liners, so many fantastic action scenes. Dialogue is perfect in this film. That's what I love about this film, is the dialogue. And also the overarching kind of, just as the name suggests, it really is a romantic notion towards a princess. Really, this entire aspect of what makes a Hollywood movie into a romantic film really is the notion of love and true love. And it talks all about true love in this film. And that's what, to me, is the overarching theme of romance, is trying to find true love, even if it is really not found, like in Blue Valentine or 500 Days of Summer. It's definitely still a process that we all have to go through, because we honestly have to live with our own problems and our own self-interests, but also sacrifice things that we really don't enjoy sacrificing for the sake of another person. So definitely check out The Princess Bride. Definitely check out all of the films I talked about on this discussion here with my top 10. With that being said, thank you so much for giving the time of day to check out my channel. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.